Yeah, man, come back and woman Andrew Wallace place for real, man. Come back and man and parents, brother. Because watch it. You feel like Andrew Wallace poor people in the family. You know, want to see a man go live in family also. Right now, in Andrew Wallace right now, a family where we need a house just like how we need a house now. Eh? Come back and prison, we go live and make soldiers and police run with them. The soldiers and police, they run with my young boy for we. Then them happy catch me. Me a whole man. Me can run for soldier and police right now, especially soldier. Eh? Andrew Wallace, come back.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and the political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. Calls for us to think and think deep.
If the government were to have its way in terms of what makes sense for long term, they would close down some of these places that we live in that's so nice, that's cool and quiet. Because it don't make any sense in terms of the cost to keep it. It costs too much, so you're always gonna cry, you're always gonna complain and say it's rough to live there. Because it is impossible based on the cost to maintain it in a way that would have made me more comfortable to live there. So we have to actually work out that balance to say, guess what? And yes, I want to live, and even if I'm not going to get no highway, and that's a mess. So you have to find that middle ground between highway and living so far, and know, so guess what? Today we I use pickaxe, if my soul said I'm back out tomorrow, better pickaxe. That is how bad it is. And the better pickaxe don't necessarily reach the grade of the year, and it don't reach asphalt, and it don't reach concrete. That is the truth of it. The road coming up here, I'm going to go all the way back and I'm going to measure it, go down and I'm going to price it and send back the cost for you so you know what the cost of the road would be. If we had a road that carry us from the square. No man, no matter what you get certain help in about me, I said not like smooth driving asphalt road or concrete road anytime soon. No, because the country have to make enough money, you see. The country have to make it. I'm gonna help you, I'm not telling you say you're not getting no help, you know. I'm just telling you say we have a temper with expectation. You understand? Me now gonna promise you I cannot deliver. Full.
Rent raise every 3 months. I am very uncomfortable. Building an 8-bedroom here for my kids. And before you even come and say something, they even say that we were issued with a warning. Was a lie. That was a lie, and it was written from the person. That is also a lie. No, and they didn't find out how we got the land. It wasn't captured by. I paid for my land. Okay. I paid 3 times because I couldn't afford it 1 time.
Well, you made down payment, installments.
Right. Okay. I got my receipts.
When we examined the situation, we only acted when we were certain that certain steps were taken. So we had the evidence of the posting stop orders. I will, so,
That's a lie.
Please.
I'm going to respond to her.
Please,
As in a lady
allow
there.
the lady's question to be answered.
Right.
Please.
I'm going to respond to her.
Please,
As in a
allow
lady
the
there.
lady's question to be answered.
Right. So that's one. Then number two, the land that you claim to purchase, right? The government would want to know.
Yeah, man, come back and woman Andrew Wallace place for real, man. Come back and man and parents better. Cause watch out. You feel like Andrew Wallace poor people in the family. You know want to see a man go live in family also. Right then in Andrew Wallace right now family where we need a house just like how we need a house now. Eh? Come back and prison one we go live and make soldiers and police run with them. The soldiers and police them run with my young boy for we. Then them happy catch me. Me a whole man. Me can run for soldier and police right now, especially soldier. Eh? Andrew Wallace know.
Family, we have go on. Manners and respect, you know. Good evening, everybody. Now, may have a few questions to ask the family members upon social media. Now, do we have a judge in Jamaica who will go for what such man want in a court? Do you think we have a judge in Jamaica who will stoop to such man low and give him what he want in a court? Because to me, the man is trying to destroy the Integrity Commission. Look on these people. Now, if the Integrity Commission cannot investigate illicit enrichment, then I done in the IC done. The Integrity Commission have no purpose then, you know. Look on the people. Their sole purpose is that the main, the core part of their job is to investigate politician who are thief. And how you investigate politician who are thief without investigate illicit enrichment. So if we have a judge in a Jamaica who grant whatever the Prime Minister want, his wishes to him, I want him to the Jamaica, that means Jamaica it already in a tailspin, in a doo-doo, in a corruption. What would happen to Jamaica people? It look like we're in a constitutional crisis already. This is a constitutional crisis. This is a constitutional crisis. Imagine, people, what the Prime Minister is asking the court for is that the judge must stop the part in the Constitution, in the Corruption Act, the Integrity Act that investigate corruption. That should be unconstitutional and that should be thrown out. So basically, what the Prime Minister asked for, to my understanding, is for politicians to continue to thief without stopping, no accountability. You can get rich, get your family get rich, do all kind of skullduggery in an office, and nobody to stop you, no accountability. What would be the purpose of having the Integrity Commission if they cannot investigate corruption? Gentle people, good night. How are you guys doing? This is wrong, people, on so many levels. Whether PNP do it, Labour Right do it, people, we are talking about country. These guys don't care about the image of the country anymore. Everybody does, like say, every man for themselves on a script. This man is asking the court for freedom to steal. Look on the good people. Isn't that what it means? This man go to the court to ask for freedom to steal. You tell me now. You tell me good. So, what kind of example that is setting for the youth then? You think the Prime Minister is a good role model for the youth? Talk about the Prime Minister is supposed to be a good role model. You want to duplicate, you want to imitate him and replicate him and duplicate him. You want to be like the Prime Minister. Not true. Yeah, man, when you see them picture hang up in a hallway in a schools and government corridors and stuff like that, you know, it's like, it's something else. But would you want your child to, have the same characteristics of this brother? So his integrity, his character. Would you want your own child to have the character of the Prime Minister of Jamaica? It's going now 4 years. The man's statutory declaration cannot be certified by the Integrity Commission. And now, because in statutory declaration cannot be certified by the Integrity Commission, the venom we might come to them with right now in a court is everything pile up. It's not just a matter about they are violating his constitutional rights. What me understand from what me reading, what the man I say, is that like if a scammer get caught with his scamming stuff, police must investigate, checking bank account, checking money or nothing, or else the police would be violating his constitutional rights. I want to understand what I say. People, this can't allow to happen. Can't allow to happen, people. This is wrong. Make this young man was a labor. He's a labor right. I'm saying was. He can explain it more better for you guys. This is what the Prime Minister up to.
We all see what's happening with Andrew and the Integrity Commission. So let me explain it to you as best as I can in layman's terms based on what my understanding of the article and the documents that I've read are. So essentially, Andrew Holness and his wife owned a number of companies. In their earnings reports over the last few years, there are some inconsistencies in the growth of their earnings and their net worth and assets and deposits. So essentially, what the Integrity Commission is now saying is that in order for them to certify his earnings, they would need to have a further breakdown of his expenditures and expenses for each of the companies. So they would need that in order to then go ahead and certify and say he's okay. So essentially, Andrew is saying that he's not willing to give them that because that is a breach of his privacy. So what he is now challenging is a portion of anti-corruption legislation, saying that is unconstitutional because what they're asking for does not protect his privacy. And everything that's in the Constitution, such as the right to privacy, it takes precedent, meaning that it supersedes anything that comes after, such as like anti-corruption legislation. So if in essence it breaches his constitutional right for privacy, then he does somewhat have a case. Now, I'm a huge supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party. Everybody knows this. However, at this juncture, I'm not able to continue to make excuses for the Prime Minister. What he is attempting to do is actually quite disgraceful and disappointing. Years from now, we will look back at the Andrew Holness tenure and be disgusted at some of the things that we have allowed to happen. Now, while I have genuine love for Andrew and I think he is much better of a leader than the opposition, I think that there are a lot of blunders that have happened in his leadership. The Prime Minister's wife being in representational politics has always caused ethical concerns. The fact that he snuck her in as a member of parliament and then promoted her to Speaker of the House is highly inappropriate. And while I don't question her effectiveness, as I think she's excelled in both roles, it's definitely always been a conflict of interest. While I've traditionally supported the Jamaican Labour Party and Andrew Holness and his administration, I think that it would be in very good taste if he just gave them what they wanted. It would also show that he respects the Integrity Commission and the anti-corruption legislation. The fact that he's going to these lengths to not comply with their requests shows that he has a lot to hide.
Well, as a young Labourite said that. This is bad, people. This is bad that your Prime Minister. So what he's trying to say, what the young man is said right there, and and the way he must say what the Prime Minister push, you can see it, where if a scammer, what the Prime Minister say is constitutional rights take precedence over the police trying to search for a scammer's money and find out where illicit enrichment going and coming from. Do you understand what the Prime Minister is trying to say here? This sounds like something dumb, don't it? So I wonder which judge in Jamaica is going to facilitate this nonsense. How much longer we're going to facilitate this? Which judge in Jamaica? Me and a lawyer. Me no got law school. Look here. Why go on there, so people? Look on it good. This make no sense to you, that the part of the act, the Integrity Commission Act, with the whole the man them accountable at that part there, the man they want, the Prime Minister himself is going after. It was okay for the Integrity Commission to investigate everybody else, but when it come to the Prime Minister time, more of it know which judge I gonna go for this. There was no constitutional breach or breach to your rights. Well done, Ripper, lose our job as Speaker of the House and all of that. There's no constitutional rights when Darrell Vaz get investigated, doing Vaz, J.C. Hutchison, Ian Hills, Bunting, all them people that they went in the chaplain of the house, Montague, all of these people they was okay with it. They were so okay with it, family. But no, when it come to the Prime Minister, no, this law need to tear up, this act, no right, I want this throughout. And guess what the man want to throughout? The part of the act with the whole part of the act that really is the Integrity Commission to investigate illicit enrichment. That's the whole part of it, If the Integrity Commission cannot investigate for illicit enrichment, we don't have no Integrity Commission, Jamaica people. I want you to understand. If the Integrity Commission cannot investigate illicit enrichment, we do not have no Integrity Commission. And that is what the Prime Minister is doing. So therefore, what he's setting the precedence for is for anybody, any little scammer, anybody can take the government to court when they might try to investigate them to find out where they get the money from, where the money go. If they have any illicit enrichment, because the government will be violating their constitutional rights based on what the Prime Minister is trying to do here, people. Not a good role model, not a good example for the country. Look at it. Anybody right now can go and challenge the government because the Prime Minister is doing so. So you think the judge is going to say yes to what the Prime Minister is doing? That is setting the precedence for other things. You can't have one law for politicians and different law for the public. So if the Prime Minister get away with this and the judge say yes, you can, you can thief in the office, conduct illicit enrichment, no investigation. What that says to the little scammer them? What that says to the little scammer them people? That they can go ahead and sue the government for investigating your chopping, where you get from chopping. It's called illicit enrichment, gaining wealth by criminal means. That's all that is about. The scammer, them do the same thing. Politicians, them do the same thing. Politicians want to keep theirs. Them, a matter of fact, them don't want an investigation. Don't ask them no question. Don't ask them no question about theirs. No investigation necessary. Open season for thieving in the office under this government. That's what Andrew Owens seems as if he's asking for, people. Open season for thieving taxpayers' money. You tell me which judge is going to grant this man this kind of madness what he's asking for, people. I want you guys to tell me which judge. Which judge? People. Now gonna work. So look here. The country broke, The country broke. Country not no money. Them a man want to investigate to find out where the money gone. The country broke. I almost investigate to find out who a thief the money. If nobody a thief the money. And on the first him do it from long time. The country broke, people. The country is broke. The country is broke. Now, I'm going to show you why the country is broke. It's raining. Yeah, man. Me like the rain. The country is broke, gentle people. I just want you to know. The country is not running good. I just want you to know. So, with all the thief in Wagwan, road can't fix, healthcare in a shambles. heavy rain and shambles. And, you know, it is all bad. You understand me, I say? So, Nigel Clark right there, so. That's Nigel Clark. That's before him left. So, you see such man I walk around the country and I promise everybody everything. I'm going to show you what Nigel Clark say. I'm going to tell you guys on this platform about it. I did several videos on it. And what is now occurring right before our eyes. People, the news come out. I know me have to tell you guys these things. I'll be right back after this short break.
We're in strange times in Jamaica. We're living in strange times. Strange times because interesting behavior is rewarded. So, for example, if you're a police officer and you have ambition and you want to turn a senior superintendent of police, you think those who out there are face down bad man, the dog-hearted gunman, the man criminal, they would be rewarded with promotion. You think it's those who are investigating crime, putting tight cases together and putting criminals behind bars would be rewarded. But it seems the fastest way to turn SSP is to work with a friendly media host for a few years, get transferred to the GSCF, and you're catapulted from district constable to senior superintendent in a couple of years.
Thank you for waiting, family. Now, may I read something again? I'm going to read for you from the other day. October 17, 2024. From the book of the Gleaner. This was before Nigel Clark cut out and left way. All the years such man I walk around the country and I promise. Wanna believe that man there? People still believe him? Check this out. Finance Minister urges prudent management of overtime budgets by MDAs. MDAs is government ministries, government departments, and government agencies. I want you guys to listen keenly. Share this video also. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, is urging ministries, departments, and agencies to exercise prudent management of overtime budgets. Addressing the Standing Finance Committee reviewing the first supplementary estimates for the fiscal year 24-25 in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Clark said the way in which compensation arrangement exists now and going forward will require much greater management by MDAs of their budgets, particularly in relation to overtime. If ministries and agencies don't manage their human resources in a way to keep within budgetary limits, we can have major problems. That is what Nigel Clark said. He warned us before he left. I mentioned it in numerous videos, how serious this is. I give the heads up to government ministries, departments, and agencies, and look at now what we are seeing. This is November 7 now. Look what we're seeing. Now, this is from the book of the Observer. JCF puts a cap on overtime hours for cops. Country broke people. Now, if we have the cops have a poor track record, when they about blue murder, you call them can't come. They not no vehicle. What gonna happen to we now, people? Right, me say, a bird season in a Jamaica. Me not tell you from the day, they might do everything in a Jamaica to make sure so we drop out and go in a them mark where they might make money off of. A bird season now. Can you imagine? The force now function on our cylinder right now because them underfunded already. Equipment and pay no right. Working condition bad. And then on top of that, you got cut overtime pay for police. Guys, I warned you on this platform already. Say I defund, then getting ready for defund departments, ministries, and agencies. Government broke people. But Nigel Clark make sure so them get them 300% raise before the country sink in our hole we're in right now. Let's read. Jamaica facing a hefty wage bill due to overtime payments. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is putting a cap on overtime for its officers effective November 17. Observer Online understands that the cops' wage bill had continued to spike despite an increase in personnel, leading to the move to cap overtime at 10%, 10 hours per week in addition to the regular scheduled 40 hours. So them take the pay raise where you see politicians and them friend take. It a weird on Jamaica people. It a keep Jamaica underwater. So everything have a cut, but not politician hefty pay raise. Everything around them must cut, except politicians hefty pay raise. No, we're gonna be affected by this because politicians choose to take 300% raise. Police people, what me tell you say, taxpayers' money spent on politicians in Jamaica, not on the people. Your money, the whole time these guys in the office work well for them. Anything they want, they can find the money. When it comes to you, I don't have the money. We have to practice fiscal prudence. But when it comes to them, give them more money to keep and retain the best and the brightest. But Nigel Clark was saying that him jump and him gone. What a fool them take with for. The decision was taken to increase integrity and accountability in the overtime system. A new workforce management system was instituted in April 2023 to manage the payout of overtime to officers. Officers will now have to seek permission to work beyond the 50 total hours for the work week. Everything I mash up, people. Them man I make sure they mash up everything before them come out. Police can't get overtime pay, but Nigel Clark make sure of that. Say, them get them big pay raise before them left. When you want to know how much pay raise them get? When you want to know what pay raise them get, like someone who forgot, you know, say them man I get big pay raise, you know. When you like what you forgot, say them man I get enormous pay raise. More want to cock up in the ears. Because who hear this, I got hear it again. Now who not hear it, I got hear it for the first time. These are the type of peer.
Strange times in Jamaica. We're living in strange times. Strange times because interesting behavior is rewarded. So for example, if you're a police officer and you have ambition and you want to turn a senior superintendent of police, you would think those who out there are face down bad man, the dog-hearted gunman, the man criminal, they would be rewarded with promotion. You think it's those who are investigating crime, putting tight cases together, and putting criminals behind bars would be rewarded. But it seems the fastest way to turn SSP is to work with a friendly media host for a few years, get transferred to the GSCF, and you're catapulted from district constable to senior superintendent in a couple of years.
No, guys, I want you guys to listen to this. You're going to hear about the type of raise that them guys are get. And the perks. House allowance for man who have house already. Taxpayers going to come here. Did you guys know so we have pay politicians for living at them own house? I want you guys to listen tonight, you know. Phone allowance. 300% raise. We have pay for them phone bill. And if they living at them own house, them guys are make sure so them take Everything last year, when corporate taxes was down, cost a deficit in the budget this year. The deficit in the budget, Nigel, them tell us here because the dip in the corporate tax last year. So them know, say that dip in the revenue last year, right? Tax revenue. But them still see the need. That means that Jamaica was at the cliff, don't it, people? The edge of the cliff, not true. Them would have known that Jamaica was at the edge of the cliff last year. And the man them look upon Jamaica and take 300% raise out of it. And to can up with head and make you believe say everything all right in the country I do good. Big go right up in the Miami Herald. All of a sudden, a PR government, these people cannot be trusted. Listen this.
Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson Malone. And in today's program, widespread outrage after Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark announced increased salaries for parliamentarians yesterday. He's in studio with me. We'll be talking to him about that. But before that, Andrea Chisholm has this overview to remind you of the numbers.
The biggest salary increase will go to Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In 2021, his salary was roughly $9.2 million per year, plus a telephone allowance. As of April 2022, it jumps to over $22.3 million. For April 2023, it moves to roughly $25.3 million. And by April 2024, another increase to almost $28.6 million.
All the hell on. Who in the world get them type of jump in a raise in such a short order? They man them make sure say the raise tap out. About 2 to 3 years. They man them make sure say them set it with them money tap out. Tap out people in no short order. Draining the country, shock the country. This period, it jolt, shock the country people. That's why I say garbage can't pick up because the money are going in a politician pocket. Plus, when I'm in an office a thief and don't want to be investigated for illicit enrichment, piss me off, you know.
The biggest salary increase will go to Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In 2021, his salary was roughly $9.2 million per year, plus a telephone allowance. As of April 2022, it jumps to over $22.3 million. For April 2023, it moves to roughly $25.3 million. And by April 2024, another increase to almost $28.6 million. For the Deputy Prime Minister, the salary was over $8 million for the year, and now it moves to over $20 million in year one,
Jesus.
over $22.7 million in year two, and over $25.7 in year three.
For what?
For Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, his salary was over $7.4 million for the year, plus the telephone allowance and housing of roughly $285,000. The new salary, over $19 million in year one, over $21.7 million in year two, and roughly $24.6 million in year three.
Jesus.
Now to opposition leader Mark Golding. He also got the housing and telephone allowances, and the April 2021 salary was over $8 million for the year. As of April 2022, he will get over $20 million. In April 2023, over $22.7 million.
Jesus.
And by April 2024, over $25.7 million.
Hold on. So the man already tap out. April 2024. You see? 1 year ago, you know, they get their raise, you know. And the man they get the 3, they tap out already. April 2024. One month to in now. The man them tap out, get a big raise already. The man they sit down upon them big old fat raise already, the whole of them.
I hear man talk kind of lie. Oh, 20 million and 28 million. Lie. Me not take no salary increase. So my salary is what it was before. And I tell you something, I feel like just keep back to. Because he's a proud man, you know. Me don't like people tell lie for me.
Let's continue, people.
2021 salary was over $8 million for the year. As of April 2022, he will get over $20 million. In April 2023, over $22.7 million. And by April 2024, over $25.7 million.
Damn.
A cabinet minister's salary was roughly $6.9 million for the year. In year one, it is close to $17.9 million, then over $20.2 million, then close to $23 million.
So the money I
Now
got
to the Speaker of the House.
So the money I got there. Me tell Uno say, taxpayers' money do not spend to benefit taxpayers in Jamaica. It's spent to benefit politicians. You see them missing for 4 or 5 years. Nothing to do here. It's only coming election time. You see them say, we want to fix this and fix that. Why? So to keep them in power, to benefit them. They never see the need to do something to benefit you when election are going. Let's continue.
The salary was close to $6.9 million. In April 2022, it will move to close to $17.9 million for the year.
Gosh.
Then to over $20.2 million, then close.
So how much money I got one house? How much money I got one house? The Prime Minister and his wife house. How much money I got one house? Jesus God. How much money I got one house? But I speak up the house, back it up and play it back. My God. Me don't know what I go on a judge shop, yeah?
$20.2 million, then close to $23 million. Now to the Speaker of the House. The salary was close to $6.9 million. In April 2022, it will move to close to $17.9 million for the year.
Can anybody tell me what they get paid for them things? They get them millions of? Can anybody in Jamaica tell me why them a politician get such a enormous raise? A vulgar raise, this, This is what they call a vulgar raise. Tell me why what the people are do to extract so much money from poor taxpayers who are survive for nickel and dime. Tell me what them people are do in the office. Tell me now, man, what them are do in the office to get so much money, more pay than every goddamn politician in the Caribbean. More pay than Andrew Owen is richer than Joe Biden. What the clout are going here?
To over $20.2 million, then close to $23 million. For a Minister of State, the old salary was over $6 million for the year. It now moves to over $14.2 million, then over 16.1 and close to 18.3 million. A regular parliamentarian would make over 4.3 million for the year in salary. It will now move to over 11 million in year one, then over 12.5 million and over $14.2 million.
Jesus. Eh?
Thanks as always,
Nah, man.
Andrea.
Before Nigel Clark, I'll come up, Nigel Clark, I'll come up, come do interview. But me have to play that part one more time so we can hear the amount of money them get. People are housing allowance. Politicians have them own house and extract housing allowance from poor people who ain't got nothing. Housing allowance. It's not like you're bored no way, you have to rent no way. You got your house already.
So the Advocates Network has...
No, stop if I play that part again, because it's wicked. Hold on, man.
That, but before that, Andrea Chisholm has this overview to remind you of the numbers.
Wicked, man. Listen.
The biggest salary increase will go to Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In 2021, his salary was roughly $9.2 million per year, plus a telephone allowance.
Jesus.
As of April 2022, it jumps to over $22.3 million. For April 2023, it moves to roughly $25.3 million. And by April 2024, another increase to almost $28.6 million.
28.
For the Deputy Prime Minister, the salary was over $8 million for the year. And now it moves to over $20 million in year one.
From 8 to $20 million in year one. From 8 to 20. Who get that type of raise there? And how much more?
Over 22.7 million in year two and over 25.7 in year three.
My God. My God. My God.
almost $28.6 million. For the Deputy Prime Minister, the salary was over $8 million for the year. And now it moves to over $20 million in year one, over $22.7 million in year two, and over $25.7 in year three.
From 8 to 25.
For Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, his salary was over $7.4 million for the year, plus the telephone allowance and housing of roughly $285,000. The new salary, over $19 million in year one, over $21.7 million in year two, and roughly $24.6 million in year three. Now to opposition leader Mark Golding. He also got the housing and telephone allowances, and the April 2021 salary was over $8 million for the year. As of April 2022, he will get over $20 million.
Jesus.
In April 2023, over $22.7 million.
Gosh.
And by April 2024, over $25.7 million.
Gosh.
A cabinet minister's salary was roughly $6.9 million for the year. In year one, it is close to $17.9 million, then over $20.2 million, then close to $23 million. Now to the Speaker of the House. The salary was close to $6.9 million. In April 2022, it will move to close to $17.9 million for the year, then to over $20.2 million, then close to $23 million. For a Minister of State, the old salary was over $6 million for the year. It now moves to over $14.2 million, then over 16.1 and close to 18.3 million. A regular parliamentarian would make over 4.3 million for the year in salary. It will now move to over 11 million in year one, then over 12.5 million and over $14.2 million.
Jesus. That's right money.
Thanks as always, Andrea. And Minister, the Advocates Network has called the increases unacceptable, unconscionable, and unfair. There's been, as I mentioned, wide-scale outrage. Let me just share just a few social media comments. They're holy. Gerald says disproportionate compared to what civil servants got, very self-serving. Kigon says, I don't see the justification for MPs to get such high pay. It makes sense that cabinet members get paid similar to senior executives, but only if they satisfy similar requirements. And Fefen says the percentage increase should match what the civil servants got. Even then, I'd say a caring government would use a median, the average of the lowest and the highest. It would show solidarity with the people you're taxing. We spoke 24 hours ago and you were saying you thought if people understood the background, then they would be accepting of the increases. So 24 hours later, have you been surprised at the level of outrage and anger?
Well, Dan, some of the comments that you have just shared sort of demonstrate that some of the information that we're trying to provide has not necessarily seeped in. And I would want to just start this evening by just making sure we're on the same page as far as information is concerned. These, what you describe as increases for parliamentarians and ministers, has happened in the context of a broad public sector restructuring, compensation restructuring, where that was evidence-based and market-led. And across the public service, one of the common things that we found was that the leadership across the public service, or the compensation in leadership areas, was extremely far from comparators in Jamaica. We're not talking about externally. And what the compensation restructuring was able to achieve, and it's a restructuring, it's not an increase. In a salary increase, everybody gets the same thing. It's a restructuring, it's recomposing compensation.
Everything are restructuring.
And retain. And for the leadership across the public service, we had adjustments to compensation that were significant. I just want to share a few of them with you. Just give me a minute or two. Well, I'm thinking I can do it in a minute. All right, 1 minute. So here we have the salary adjustments in the teaching profession for principals of the largest secondary schools. They were paid at 2.9 million to 3.4 million. As of April 1st, 2023, they're at 8.5 to 10.9. For
principals of the smallest secondary schools, 2.2 to 2.6 to 5.6 to 7.2. For principals of the largest primary school, from 2.4, let's just look at the starting. So you can tell. For principals of the largest primary school, from 2.4, let's just look at the starting, 2.4 to 7. For principals of the smallest primary school, from 1.7 to 5.6.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I remember you making that point during the negotiations, but it sounds to me as if you hadn't picked up or you don't understand that there is significant, I'm referring to that, that there is in fact significant anger within those sectors as well, because of what is seen as a huge disparity in what the people at the top have got compared to the people lower down.
Absolutely. And I can address that. I can address that, but allow me to present.
Point doesn't appease anybody who is upset at the parliamentarians.
You don't understand the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that the adjustments in salaries for parliamentarians and ministers occurs in the context of adjustments to salaries for the leadership levels across the public sector.
I understand.
And then we can, so now allow me to...
The point I was making, though, is that the concern is that those adjustments as a whole were inequitable in relation to what is now the gap between the leadership and the rest of the...
Once I present it, I'd love to have a chance to address that. In the nursing profession, I'm having the two top levels. The same if you were to go with the top 3 or top 4 out of 8. They were at the persons were at 3.5 to 4.2 million.
Top people get paid.
Now at 9.2 to 10 million.
Bottom feeders don't get
Level
nothing.
7 from 3 to 3.6. Now at 8.2 to 9.5 million.
Minister, you're not comparing, as a colleague of mine likes to say, mangoes and mangoes. You're not, because what you're doing is showing us, for instance, you're showing us nurses, you're showing us teachers, you're going to show us lawyers in a moment, you're probably going to show us judges, you're going to show us what else you have. And the concern is that you are showing us the salaries of highly qualified professionals, and you're comparing it to cabinet ministers.
Allow me to show it. You give me a minute to show it. So allow me to show it and then answer the questions. No, man. No, I just could show all of that. So legal officers, 4.9 to 10, 1.4.1 to 10.
All of that to make your point. I understand the point you're making, that there has been...
I just have 2 more. It's not for you. It's for your watchers.
You're making the same point.
I'm doing it. It's across the public service. I'm showing.
I understand. So we will have to look at
medical doctors. No, I have one more. Medical doctors went from 3 million to 3.2, 2.2 to 7.3, 2.2 to 6.3. And I'm showing the civil service.
People, want to see what I go on there, sir? That is last year when the corporate taxes dip. Nigel Clark come on TV with a big old chart. You know him like chart, to justify the big pay raise with them take. But now them take this pay raise, pantapite, money are missing, Integrity Commission and do them investigation. Them no want Integrity Commission to investigate. Anything can go, sir? And we know, say, and I know this brother do him I do. And I know people, and I know the brother do what him a do. Long time him a do it. So we are going there now. We're going to play the tapes them, We're going to show you a long time the brother do it, and he never stopped back then when the first investigation lick him. He still a go along with it. So me continue to play the national anthem of all investigation. 18 Degrees North with Zara Burton. And I always tell the guys, go over and check out 18 Degrees North, subscribe, be a member of the channel, and support Zara Burton for our great work of shadow. So this is the genesis of all things. We can go and listen. And the first time, people, and I know the man do it. The man about history, track record, long.
Became Jamaica's newest prime minister despite controversy about his big house.
Join us in a partnership for prosperity.
We uncover a trail of property purchases and ask, is Andrew Honus paying his part?
Is that why he didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
What the prime minister didn't want you to know before the election. And later, Honus sounds the warning on corruption to his new cabinet.
Corruption will not be tolerated in this country.
But does his own record raise questions when it comes to awarding public contracts?
When each side is in government, there are uncomfortable levels of awarding of contracts to persons who are either political supporters, campaign financiers, or other
You
connected
thief,
parties.
boy.
We reveal how Honus signed off on taxpayer money for a contract to his associates on this episode of 18 Degrees North.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. Calls for us to think and think deep.
Let's continue, guys. You know, say, me not stop play this straight to the election. Because everybody, you see that brother, him have a history, him have a track record. And we're gonna make the people understand who this brother is. What he's doing with the court right now, yeah? Don't want no investigation for illicit enrichment. A long time. We are here dirt on this brother. A long time, and I know. That's why him want license. So basically, what I'm gonna go to the judge right now for is basically a license. The thief. That's what, if I'm mistaken, somebody correct me, please. When am I go to court right now and have certain things struck out of law, like the investigation into illicit enrichment? Tell me if I don't want a license, he might ask the judge to give him and other politician to thief without interruption. Let's continue. Listen, Zara Burton and all the long history that brother track record. Long.
Zara Burton, and welcome to 18 Degrees North. It's from right here in Kingston, Jamaica, 18 degrees north of the equator, where every week we're going to take you on a global journey with us as we focus on Caribbean stories that have global impact. We begin our show with Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus. During the 2016 general elections, his house became front and center. The public, and perhaps more so the ruling People's National Party, they wanted to know why St. Lucian Company owned his house and where he got the money, since news reports had put its value at about $2 million, a figure Honus has not confirmed. After all, Honus had been a politician most of his professional life, didn't come from money, and his salary at the time was just over $60,000 each year, not counting allowances. Honus answered several of the questions asked, but we at 18 Degrees North had others. What we found was an interesting series of property purchases and an uneven playing field when it comes to personal tax matters. It also shed light on the relationship between Jamaican politicians and their associates in the awarding of public contracts. We're staying right here in Jamaica at 18 degrees north and 77 degrees west.
Our man must be in the house. And we not run for that is why we say be free, be free, and we must make it secure so you can
This is the house, built on 3/4 of an acre, complete with stone-cut wall, in the exclusive Beverly Hills neighborhood just outside Kingston. It's a huge upgrade from where Jamaica's newest prime minister and then opposition leader, Andrew Holness, says he was born.
I was born in a 4-bedroom board house at 56 Combat Road in a Spanish town. My father is still a farmer, and my mother is a retired civil servant.
Property records showed that Beverly Hills land was purchased by a St. Lucian-based company, AdMat Incorporated, for $300,000 in 2011, 3 months before Holness became Prime Minister of Jamaica for the first time, and when he was Minister of Education. There's no mortgage listed. In a statement, Holness says he's the sole director of AdMat and a shareholder, along with his 2 sons, Adam and Matthew. Holness says he got the money from funds in his accounts at 2 of Jamaica's investment banks and used his savings, salary, loans, and credit from suppliers established through his wife, who is a real estate developer, to build the house, costing him approximately $52 million, or around $525,000 US. He says a St. Lucian structure was used for estate planning. His attorney, Patrick Bailey, says there's that and the additional potential benefit of avoiding transfer taxes.
If the house at Beverly Hills is the only asset and he was selling it, he would simply sell the company, sell the shares. The company would have its shareholding transferred from him and his children to the new purchasers, whereas the title would remain unchanged because the new purchaser will be the owners of AdMat and be the owners of the property. So in that case, there's no transfer from one entity to another. So you're safe on transfer tax and stamp duties and those sorts of things.
Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says the leader of the country shouldn't be trying to avoid taxes.
Especially if you're a prime minister and you're telling your citizens that they need to conform to the regulatory environment that you have designed, that you do not think you can adhere to, because it is inimical to your interest to adhere to it, or inimical to the interest of your children's future to adhere to it, then there is a major, there's a major inconsistency there that you need to explain.
Does he own other entities in there, in AdMat?
In AdMat?
Yeah.
I think he has at least one other property in AdMat.
And where is that?
That is in somewhere in the Arcadia area, right?
And that's considered land or also?
Some as an apartment. Actually, he's now in the process of selling that unit. He owes suppliers because suppliers gave him credit for the house he's building in Beverly Hills.
And source of funds for that was what?
That one, I can't recall all of those details. But
I hear man talk kind of
use the house that he lives in and get loans and that sort of thing.
We checked the title for the property where Bailey says both Holness and his wife lived at the time of our interview and found no additional loans or mortgages other than those originally taken out in 2002 when they bought the house for $7 million Jamaican dollars, around $144,000 US back then. So you were satisfied then with the source of the funds in both cases?
Oh, absolutely. He saved in US stocks and amongst his portfolio. So he was saving because these are savings.
Is that savings from him alone or him and his wife?
I don't know that level of personal detail. that would be. Yeah, I don't know that level.
Of what you know, is there any evidence?
I know of nothing. I have known nothing else that he owns in relation to AdMat.
Okay.
He currently owns it.
We checked the title for the Acadia property and found that it was indeed purchased by the same St. Lucian company, AdMat Incorporated, in 2008, again when Holness was Minister of Education. The price tag, 16 million Jamaican dollars, around $219,000 US back then, And again, no mortgage was listed.
Hmm?
Further, we also checked whether Adnan owned additional properties and found one more.
Yes,
A
man.
half-acre lot, also built in Beverly Hills on Wycliffe Close in February 2009, also when Honus was Minister of Education, price tag around 15 million Jamaican dollars,
Hmm?
almost 173,000 US dollars, and again, no mortgage listed.
Man, rich long time.
You've never heard of this Wycliffe Close property before today?
Let me put it this way. I have never handled, and when I look at the transfer, I see the names of lawyers who I know.
Lad, you know.
And even Khaki Club more than one lawyer. We all have to eat.
So all told, when it comes to properties, there's the Great House Boulevard home that Honus and his wife bought with a mortgage, while Honus was a mere member of parliament. And in the 4 years he was Minister of Education, earning the equivalent of around 60,000 US dollars per year, or 90,000 with allowances, there was the Arcadia apartment, no mortgage listed.
What?
The land at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills, no mortgage listed. The land for the Shenstone Beverly Hills house he's building, no mortgage listed. And around 525,000 US dollars spent building the house in the 3 years after Honus's Jamaica Labour Party lost the election in 2011. Honus, through a member of his team, said he wouldn't comment on the source of funds for any of his properties before the election, but even after, he didn't. He also said he would make his financial statement public at the end of March 2016, but he didn't.
Pattern.
Despite several calls to Juliet Honus, a property developer, chartered accountant, and newly elected member of parliament, she didn't get back to us.
When working at a coffee shop, saying both focus and awareness is key.
Have you asked the people?
I hear man that talk kind of lie. Oh, 20 million and 28 million. Lie. Me not take no salary increase. So my salary is what it was before. And I tell you something, I feel like just keep back to. Because he's a proud man, you know. You don't like people tell life for me.
You can't give back the whole salary because you're rich before you even turn prime minister. People, this is about 7 years ago, this investigation here. Before the man turned prime minister, people, when he just turned prime minister. And all of the enough things when he was minister of education before he turned prime minister, the man rich. This year.
What about property taxes?
Nobody pay, he has to pay property tax.
At the time of our initial checks in the 2 weeks before the election, the house in Beverly Hills had an outstanding balance since 2013 on the tax administration's website.
What?
Amount? About $174,000 or US $1,400 approximately.
Long time not ago.
Property taxes on the Wycliffe Close land in Beverly Hills were listed as not having been paid since 2009, a total of about $175,000 or US around $1,400.
Long time
And the Great House Boulevard home that he owned with his wife Juliet, that was listed as outstanding since 2014, owing Jamaicans $64,000 or about 526 US dollars. We call the tax administration to confirm. Volume is 1118. Yeah.
The amount is $64,000 outstanding at $50 for 2 years.
All in. Honus or his entities were listed at the time as owing almost 413,000 Jamaican dollars, around 3,400 US dollars.
Damn.
It wasn't clear if there were any amounts owing for the apartment at Arcadia Drive.
Damn.
Caroline Hay, former Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, says, in general, no leader should be backed up on their taxes.
Jesus.
We did not ask her specifically about Honus.
No public official ought to be behind on their taxes.
Mm.
You are in a position when you're a public official in a position of trust,
Mm-hmm.
and one would imagine an example to the nation as to what values we want in positions of leadership.
Days after 18 Degrees North brought it to Honus's attention, and before the election, the tax administration's website reflected zero balances for the 2 Beverly Hills properties at Shenstone Drive and Wycliffe Close.
Boy.
However, taxes on the house he owns with his wife were still listed as owing As of our last check,
Wow.
March 18th, 2016, even as he became Prime Minister of Jamaica for a second time.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica.
Teka. Chopper.
Coming up on 18 Degrees North, too close for comfort? How Honus signed off on taxpayers' money for a contract to his associates.
My God. Eh?
18 Degrees North just uncovered a trail of property purchases linked to Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus.
Oi.
Now see how that trail led us down another path.
Here I know.
That of government contracts awarded to his associates.
Chopper. Long time I do it.
Corruption will not be tolerated
Whatever.
in this government.
The property at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills remains an open lot today. As it turns out, the owner, Andrew Honus's ADMAT Incorporated,
My God.
applied to the National Environmental Planning Agency to build townhouses in 2010, but that application was turned down.
That application was turned down. I just want you to know that NEPA is under his control now. So I bet them can't turn him down ever again. You want bet NEPA will never turn on the Prime Minister again? Because he is in full control of NEPA. It is within his office. So nothing can stop him development. I'll let him build it in a swamp. Oh.
Representing ADMAT in this application was one Robert Garvin.
Hey.
And Robert Garvin is not a director in any way, shape, or form of ADMAT.
No, he's not.
But why would Robert Garvin's name then appear on an application to the land development?
Because he acted as agent, he's in the process.
Lie.
That's not unusual.
According to Companies Office records, Robert Garvin is or was the director of other entities affiliated with Andrew or Juliet Honus.
Long time I do it.
Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited, Sunshine Mobile,
Yeah, then.
West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited, Omega Bridge Finance, and the now removed Delido Taxi Service.
Who is Robert Garvin? Robert Garvin.
Never met the name, never heard
What?
it. But I do remember Positive. When I did set up Positive Jamaica, I remember that.
Right, but he's one. Positive Jamaica is in part a director by Garvin.
I know he was a director of
And by the way, one more thing. What about the fact that Garvin used this address, 28 Herb McKinley?
Because this is my address. It's precisely what I'm saying.
Liar.
You're at 28 Herb McKinley.
I know. Why Robert Garvin used it and you
Because we set up the company here. Garvin, I'm not saying that. I don't remember the name.
Separately, Robert Garvin is also listed as the director of Westcon Construction, along with one Donovan Simpson. Garvin used the address 25 Dominica Drive while setting up Westcon, the same address he and Honus used when registering West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited. Government records show Westcon Construction as receiving 14 government contracts, totaling 28.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around 386,000 US dollars. This was between 2006 and 2009, even as Honus or his wife shared directorships with Garvin on 4 entities. 12 of the 14 contracts were under the JLP government, with which Honus has a career-long affiliation. 9 of the 14 list 0 or only 1 tender. 10 of the 14 were granted by the Minister of Education when Andrew Honus was minister, and by the National Works Agency and Social Development Commission for work in Honus's constituency.
Damn.
Honus even instructed the Social Development Commission to pay Westcon Construction just under 1.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around US $21,000 back then.
Damn.
He signed the document himself.
Of course.
There was only one bidder for cleaning,
Of
pushing, and
course.
trimming of the roadways in Honus's constituency of West Central St. Andrew, and no procurement committee approval.
I'm sure.
Payment was requested by Honus December 20th, 2007,
Mhm.
and paid promptly on the same day.
Mhm.
When contacted in a general sense, the current Social Development Commission head, Dwayne Vernon, said, while not the norm, it is possible to have a request and payment on the same day.
But it's not the norm.
Especially when there's a contract in place with stated payment dates. Vernon, who didn't address this contract specifically, also said, the SDC does not procure for constituencies. This is the prerogative of the MP and his or her project officer. Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says, awarding of government contracts in Jamaica has been a long-standing cause for concern.
When each side is in government there are uncomfortable levels of awarding of contracts to persons who are either political supporters, campaign financiers, or other connected parties.
We asked Honus whether he declared his relationship with Garvin while contracts were being awarded to Western Construction, but he didn't get back to us.
I'm sure.
We called Garvin, but he said he couldn't talk at the time, and he didn't answer our text message.
I'm sure.
When contacted, Garvin's partner in Western Construction, Donovan Simpson, he tried to distance himself from the inner workings of the company.
Who didn't benefit from these contracts? That's what you're saying. Even though his name is not on the filing, Andrew Hone is a part of this company.
No, not to my knowledge. No, man, he's not a part of it.
Do you know if Garvin is a friend of Andrew Hone?
Yes, yeah, man, they are friends. They are very close. For Andrew, when in politics,
Siaga, office meeting.
Okay.
We searched, but could find no record of Honus declaring his relationship with Robert Garvin or Donovan Simpson. And the Office of the Contractor General would only say that we should request an investigation, which we did. When asked in a general sense, and not about Honus specifically, Caroline Hay says these kinds of relationships should be declared.
In the procurement rules and guidelines that I've read, there's been a concern about whether there is a connection either directly, meaning you have an interest in a company that's bidding for public assets and public benefit, or indirectly, meaning it's in the name of a wife, in the name of a girlfriend, in the name of a child, in the name of an associate. It's the duty of our staff and any other public officers and officials directly or indirectly involved in the procurement process, especially in the preparation of bidding documents, evaluation, contract negotiations, contract management, and payments to declare any potential conflicts of interest.
Whether Honus declared his relationship with Garvin remains unclear. However, Bailey, his attorney, is adamant that all assets associated with Andrew Honus were declared.
In every case, everything that he has owned from the time that he is, from even the time he set up ADMAT, going back to 2001, everything has been declared.
We checked with the Integrity Commission, but no one ever got back to us. Information submitted is usually confidential.
The law that governs it explicitly states that these declarations cannot be made public. And if they are made public, whoever makes them public is subject to a fine of over $1 million, right? These declarations of assets need to be brought under the ambit of the Access to Information Act so that we can request to see and be given or given a good reason why we can't be given.
In Jamaica, breaches of the rules governing the awarding of government contracts carry a possible fine of $1,000 or around $8 and or 3 months in prison.
$8.
See what happens when we try to get answers from Andrew Honus on the campaign trail. Next. Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus, may have wrested control from the People's National Party, in part because of his 10-point tax plan. During the election campaign, though, there were skeptics. Critics charged, how was he going to plug the millions in lost revenues in US dollar terms when his plan would essentially eliminate income tax on those earning the equivalent of around $12,000 or less? Honus's plan was to spur spending and generate more revenue from consumption tax while raising taxes on high-end earners. We caught up with Honus on the campaign trail. We asked him what else he had up his sleeve and why at the time was he listed as being behind on his property taxes. Where is the economy going? Have you done any analysis of your tax plan and what economic growth is going to look like in your first year?
I wouldn't want to give you a specific figure.
But your analysis must have produced something that is tangible for the people to understand.
Yeah, but I didn't say I would give you that figure.
but it has produced a figure.
Of course.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would we do that?
Give me a general sense of where we have on the low end and the top end.
I would say to you that if you're going to talk about economic growth, you should be above 3%.
Okay, that's a fair statement to make. Let's talk about some of the other taxes that you, tax incentives and lower rates, and
So in
I think there was mention of some transfer taxes as
so
well.
in general,
estate-
we want to, our tax plan is to reduce transaction taxes.
I try to cut off if you can.
Part of economic growth is to get
Zara,
velocity
nah,
of
easy.
transactions increasing, and particularly in construction and real estate, because those are major employment areas. So we will bring to the levels which we had them before our transfer tax and stamp duties, and estate taxes as well.
You seem to don't like taxes too much because
Absolutely. I'm a small government, free enterprise person. I believe that markets work best and taxes are distortionary.
Okay. Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
No, my property taxes are paid.
On the THS website, when we did the valuation numbers for your properties, the outstanding taxes are there.
Wow.
My taxes are paid.
When we looked, there was your Great House Boulevard property. There was your property that's owned by AdMat, which you say you're the sole director of. And then there's another property that we actually found under AdMat as well up at Whitecliff Close. All three were outstanding. And then we saw that Whitecliff Close taxes seem to have been outstanding since 2009. What about the other property though at Whitecliff Close?
That I would have to check on. That's been there for a little while, so I'll have to check on. But I don't want to distract from the message.
No, but you are the person that's saying that you don't necessarily love taxes, yeah?
Yeah.
And so you are the lead. You are a leader of this country, potentially the premier leader of this country come next week. And so I'm asking you the question, as the leader of a country, do you believe that your taxes should have been more up to date than the record reflects? Yeah.
So long about that?
From my best recollection,
Pattern.
I've paid my taxes. Now, if it is that they are outstanding, it's not an issue to pay them.
Whatever.
That is designed for you to avoid potential estate taxes or transfer taxes.
No, it's designed for estate planning purposes.
For estate planning purposes, that means basically that you avoid some sort of taxes. And I'm saying, does it look good for a leader of a country?
I'm not clear that it's, when we set it up, it was never to avoid any kind of taxes. And it's not likely that I would be able to sell everything. It was set up merely as a way of holding assets. So it's a holding company. That's it. But in any event, let's be clear. Any citizen of any country is permitted. It's not illegal to establish, and many persons have done.
No doubt. I'm not talking about the legality. I'm more talking about, does it look good for a leader to be trying to set up their situation so that they avoid paying tax?
No. Any company can, I think, avoid being in a situation. Look, but my view on the matter is this: you should plan your estate and plan for taxes the best way possible.
You just said a while ago that you don't see a sense where you would be able to sell everything. What's everything? What's everything?
You mentioned two properties.
Right. Here's Whitecliff Close, right, which is an open land right now.
Look, we'll talk again.
No, one thing I wanted to ask you about. Hold on, Mr. Honest. Mr. Honest, I must ask you a question. This is where we bring it.
Yes, people, that's it. 18 degrees not. Go check out Zara Burton. 18 degrees not. Go check it out, people. I always send you guys over there. I now send it to Chaka spot to go take a look. So, let's see what I go on, people. This is the man we have in the office a long time. He might go on with this. This is a video over 7 years ago. You see me, I say, so, and I'm in the office for 8 years. So, the whole time and before that, the man already rich as a education minister. As you can see, the man own whole heap of things and more. And in promise him gonna be transparent with his taxes and all them things there. And I know. So you guys see a pattern. I know them take 300% raise on top of that. Now I tell, police say them overtime cut, ministries, departments, and agencies of government cutting overtime. Enough people are gonna feel it, especially coming up in this Christmas season here. Now, me see somebody put something in the comment section, and me know I do not want to ignore the comments. See there, your comment. Rudely Clark. Carlos, good night. Just want to highlight this. Seeing the Princess Hotel open on November 1st in Green Island, Hanover. We have no water from that day on in Cardwell and around the areas in Green Island. People not hear that? People not hear that? Several times me do video on this platform, gentle people, talking about this same issue right here. Down on the grill with this hotel named Princess Hotel. That them, remember, I just several days ago. See somebody in the comment section and tell me they said the hotel opened on November 1st, gentle people. And since the hotel opened, them not have no water. So what is happening now? I may ask the daddy, is it the same thing they do with electricity? When the current gone throughout the day, they might short way to send it away to hotels and stuff. Cause by the time the hotel open up and are going good. You hear me say, people? So me wonder what I want to know. So here goes again. The hotel open. It's to show you when Nigel had the water crisis. And the same thing happened. Remember when Nigel had a water crisis? Matthew came out and said they are not using the water from the Lagwood plant. They're using desalinized water and reverse osmosis. So why Rudley Clark, I tell me in the comment section now say, Carlos, good night. Just want to highlight this is the scene. The Princess Hotel open on the 1st of November in Green Island, Hanover. We have no water from that day on in Cardwell, around areas in Green Island. Can you imagine that, people? That your government, yesterday we do a video. I'm going to ask if you think the Chinese government would take water from them people and give some other people. You think the white would do that? You think the Indian would do that? So why do I do that to the people? People say me just do a video on it. I'm going to ask why they do this. Eh? Can you imagine, people? Remember, Amber from RFM came out and in defense of her country. And what came out after that is that it's like she was suspended from RFM. But you know what our problem is as Black people? We don't stand together. We fight against each other. And that's what is happening. We fight against each other. It's like I said them set so it's a curse. So I'm gonna drop this little nugget with you guys before listen this. And me like to play it 100 times.
Let's start. This video right here, I'm making it for Black people. That's right, Black people. You know how y'all Black people look at us and say, damn, why is Chico driving that badass truck? Why is Amigo having that badass car? You know how that is? We stick together. Us Hispanics, we work together. We help each other out. As a Hispanic, you know what I have seen with Black people? You guys are always trying to compete against each other. Who's got the better car? Who's got the better truck? Who's got the better bitch? Always comparing each other's shit. Always trying to fight each other. Always trying to put each other down. You need to work together, like us Hispanics do. That's the difference between Hispanics and Black people. That's why a Hispanic starts a business. Most of the time, he's successful because he's not doing it all by himself. He's got help. We work together. Y'all black people need to do that. Stick together, help each other out. Stop the fucking competing. That's not helping. Peace.
People, talk to the people. Talk to the people. Talk to me. Amigo, I talk to me. A Hispanic brother is dropping some nugget for black people to understand ourselves. Because him on the outside, looking at us black people, tear down each other. Yeah, in a Jamaica, them take away water from we and give to hotel. Eh? Give to hoteliers and leave the people them dry and the grill. So for the person who dropped this in the comment section, Rudy Clark, I'm going to play this again for the people to understand what is going on in the grill and Cardwell and the surrounding area of Green Island, because them say the hotel open right now and the people don't have the water. So it and what I put in the comment section, I didn't plan to play this, but I'm going to drop this nugget again. This is Matthew Samuda. Little Matthew, rather. My bad. Went down by Negril after them take water from the people and sent to this hotel. And lied and tell the people that the water that them getting is desalination water and reverse osmosis in a meeting down there. But the people them consult with NEPA, come to find out NEPA never grant them any permit to have none of these plants down there. So all of it was a lie. Let's listen to go on here.
This is a special expose on the water scarcity plaguing Lucy.
And this is coming from the Negro Times. The Negro Times.
She's a Hanover and Westland, which rely on the Logwood treatment plant for their water supply. As the water woes continue to affect communities such as West End and the resort town of Negril, Green Island, Orange Bay, and a slew of other communities, concerns are being raised over statements made by a minister with responsibility for water, Major Samuda, that the 2,000-room Princess Hotel in Green Island is using desalination or reverse osmosis as its primary water supply source.
Lie.
During a meeting held in Negril at the Swept-Away Hotel in Negril on Thursday, April 4, environmentalist and founder of Let's Make Negril Awesome, Lambert Williams, asked Minister Samuda whether or not the water demands of Princess Hotel, which is set to open in June, is pulling water away from the communities served by the Logwood treatment plant. During the exchange, Minister Samuda had told Mr. Williams that the Princess Hotel was using reverse osmosis or desalination as its primary water source.
Wicked enough.
However, residents of Negril have been questioning the veracity of Minister Samuda's claims, among them celebrity radio disc jockey and event promoter Amber Kroll.
I was reliably informed by members of the Negril Chamber of Commerce and other persons in the community that Minister Samuda attended a closed-door meeting in Negril where the media was not allowed in the meeting.
Wow.
The media found out the minister asked for them to stay outside. However, what happened in the meeting was very displeasing to those who attended with matter too, because some people have matter like water, they have hot water, they have pressure in their pipes, so they're good. So that meeting was held. In that meeting, some very important things came out. One, the minister alleges that the Princess Hotel, which is being built in Green Island, is using reverse osmosis for the construction. So our question now to the minister is, since you allege this, come and tell the public, Minister Samuda, where the water that the Princess Hotel is using for reverse osmosis is coming from. Is it the swamps? Or in order to do reverse osmosis, you need a the water with mud in there. You must have the water first before you can actually perform that process. So that's one claim that we're asking on behalf of the community of Negril, the minister to clarify where the water is coming from, because the people suspect that the water is actually coming from the Longwood plant, which is supposed to serve the community. That is why the people of Hanover and Negril do not have water in their Minister Bartlett, you've been doing so well. We've seen you on many platforms, speaking of how well tourism is doing. This water issue requires Minister Bartlett's attention too, because your ministry going to suffer. Let us now clarify if Princess Hotel, which is building a 3,000-room hotel, is using reverse osmosis, so we can rule that out. If they are not, then it simply means that the people water source and they need to come off. Let the government will give them authority and permission to build that source give them. Because them literally would be robbing the people of water if it is so that they are on the end of the system. You can put such a big development on a system which is already burning, and if it is not getting water, and think that things are going to be business as usual. That is not how you develop a country.
When the Negril Times checked with the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA, an official from the applications processing branch revealed that while the Princess Hotel had indeed submitted an application for a reverse osmosis desalination plant, the application is still being processed and a decision has not yet been on.
So you see that? So they never get no permit to have that down there. So Matthew lied to the people them, take the water from them for this hotel during the construction phase. And now Rodney Clark right us up on the screen. I tell we say the hotel opened November 1st. And since the hotel opened, Green Island and the surrounding areas don't have no water, people. Now you see, I believe this is a water crisis. I believe that's why we only have water like 2 times a week in our community, because hotel water not turn off. I believe that's why we have power outages almost every day, because hotel power not cut off. God, them hotel and say, but water them have a waste everywhere. But our water must gone, so hotel must have theirs. People, what can go so? They might tell investors for coming to Jamaica and the infrastructure and they're for that. Because the people must suffer under the weight of these investors. Is our government wicked? Anyway, people, thank you for watching this video. Share this video if you think somebody if you hear this video. Thank you so much, people. As usual, me a student in the class, make sure your comments make sense in every sentence. If for the first time for the platform you like the work, go ahead and subscribe and support the platform in any way, shape, and form you can. Thank you so much, my people. My name is Jamaican Carlos. I'm out,
You, the 2 daughters of Pernell Charles, Uno 2 is on a campaign to mash up the party because you endorse some jankro who no mean the party no good and if you stop it.
If the government were to have its way in terms of what makes sense for long term, they would close down some of these places that we live in that's so nice, that's cool and quiet. Because it don't make any sense in terms of the cost to keep it. It costs too much, so you're always gonna cry, you're always gonna complain and say it's rough to live there. Because it is impossible based on the cost to maintain it in a way that would have made me more comfortable to live there. So we have to actually work out that balance to say, guess what? And yes, I want to live, and even if I'm not going to get no highway, and that's a mess. So you have to find that middle ground between highway and living so far, and no, so guess what? Today we I use pickaxe, if I sold let's say I'm back out to buy better pickaxe. That is how bad it is. And the better pickaxe don't necessarily reach the grade of the year, and it don't reach asphalt, and it don't reach concrete. That is the truth of it. The road coming up here, I'm going to go all the way back and I'm going to measure it, go down and I'm going to price it and send back the cost for you so you know what the cost of the road would be. If we had a road that carry us from the square. No man, no matter what you get certain help about me, I said not like smooth driving asphalt road or concrete road anytime soon. Because the country have been making enough money, you see. The country have been making, I'm gonna help you, I'm not telling you say you're not getting no help, I'm just telling you say we have a temper with expectation. You understand? Me now go promise what me cannot deliver. Full.
Can't pull me again. You can't pull me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't pull me again. Can't pull me again. You can't pull me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. COVID money, miss away, eat the little rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste my bust a mantis statue. Say be like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take the spit of money, girl, and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up, him a got a black. But it in the kitchen, some a fly like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption please.
It burn me.
They mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out with each.
Can't pull me again. You can't pull me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.